Hello, everyone. Welcome back. We're going to be reading again from the Seeker's Journal, A Spiritual Journey. And this is written by Om Prakash Gilmore. If you like what you're hearing, you can find some of the other readings from the Seeker's Journal on our YouTube channel right now. They were recorded earlier. And so we're going to pick up where we left off. We're going to pick up at journal entry number 41. My exploration is slowing down as I find that there is really nothing more to explore. All the things that I have known from the beginning are just being reinforced. My experiences are different now. As I go to the place where I would rest and meet my gods, I am finding that I cannot stay there as long, and that my gods are difficult to see and to focus on. One of them said that I am at the point where I am internalizing more of the archetypes and making them part of myself, being that I am living in a world that sucks. I don't know if I like that or not. I only find comfort in my journeys to spiritual realms. As I have written before, however, there are no spiritual versus physical realms. There is only one thing that we are all part of. Still, this world ruled by those who are cold-hearted and blind to the truth often upsets me. There is too much pain and suffering in a world that could easily be full of joy and abundance, and I don't like that. I also don't like the fact that my glasses are ported to some other place and I still haven't found them. I am left right now in a neutral place. I am working on projects that in reality have little or no meaning to me. I am moving forward just for the sake of doing so, knowing that the dullness of this world and its meaninglessness everywhere is difficult to imagine a life of joy in a world where there are so many divisions. One of the things that the COVID virus has shown me is how stuck this society is. And this is a reminder that this was written during the COVID shutdown. It has shown me that though we think we are advanced and forward thinking at the root, much of our civilization hasn't changed. This isn't new. I come into this world every time a big paradigm shift is about to happen. I work to pass on the truth and the seeds that will be watered when everything falls apart and starts over again. My hope is always that this is the right time. I always think that I can just nudge the world a little forward so it won't go through the devastation, only to find that the world is still not ready. When I speak of I am speaking of the larger I, or the soul personality I. I'm speaking of a group of souls who come into this world over and over again at all levels, who are connected and who come in during these transitional times to try to save the world. We continually fail, and that is disheartening. It seems that is the case now. We have passed 3 turning points that have failed at each in the United States in any event. We have had 3 chances to vote for a president who wanted to strive for the benefit of all Americans instead of just a small group. But many people chose to support the person who would only make things better for their group, forgetting about their brothers and sisters. All that is left now is to ride the rails down into the valley of destruction, hoping that something good survives. On the spiritual front, my guides are not concerned and say that things are happening the way they are supposed to. They say they are letting it happen. Some even say they are doing it. They say there is a war, but they never say whose side they are on, or who is battling. I think this war they are talking about is a gigantic war on all levels: extraterrestrial, political, ideological, and even spiritual. Because in reality, there is a meeting point where all of these things become the same. They seem to have some type of knowledge about things they refuse to share with me. Let me correct this. I know what they know, but I cannot accept it, and they refuse to confirm my thoughts by telling me straight out. I have put my trust in them and what my heart is saying as I continue to meditate and clean. May the goddess have mercy on all of our souls. In truth, that isn't even necessary as long as one knows the truth and has a clean heart. Everything will work out. Let us hope so. We go to journal entry 42. Think bigger, is what I was told when asking my guides who was really in charge of our country. I always had a feeling that governments aren't in charge. I always thought there was some secret group who was in charge, working behind the scenes to shape this world. They said that I was right. There was a group trying to shape it. But I had to think bigger. I should not think nationally, but globally and beyond globally. They said I should think galactically, as in people in various regions of the galaxy working to influence all of the planets. The ones on Earth were people from another planet who came to this Earth long ago. The people in power now are their descendants. They are people from a long line of individuals who came here to help and help civilize human beings. These were the gods. The hope of these people behind the scenes working is to become the gods again. It is to have a world that is in a modicum of peace that will worship them as gods again. The idea of this world is one like a fiefdom where people live on the land in peace and the gods will take care of them. That is what they want and have been striving for centuries. All the wars, the violence, and famine that comes from too many people is a way to keep the number of people down, so they won't destroy the earth. They remind me of how crowded the world would be now if there were no wars and pandemics, as people continue to insist on breeding. They want the population to sink to a small size as it was long ago and to simplistically live in a simplistic society. They want to take care of the governance while human beings work on the local level to make sure there is a good quality of life on the local level. But as we know from history, this has never happened because of the quality of the human being. Wherever the opportunity for peace has arisen, some leader with psychopathic and sociopathic tendencies would arise and take power. And so this is the big battle that is happening now. It is between various factions of the descendants of various gods who want to return to their former glory. Some of them may actually be the gods that were worshipped still living because they can still tap into the memories of their former lives, making them eternal. Their children learn ways to remember their former lives in schools and are versed in ways to interact with the world that include things like telepathy, empathy, and the many other secret arts that seem like magic to the average individuals. And as they remember who they are and hang out with the soul group that they have always existed with, they are alive again. This is strange, but this is what my gods explained to me. They also explained that I should not go into specifics, and I will not do that. I find it all very interesting. I especially find interesting that they tell me that the idea of spiritual versus physical realm is just an illusion. There is just one realm with various vibrations all linked together like a normal curve. When one exists on a normal curve, it determines what they will experience and what they will see. We human beings are spread out across every realm, but our awareness is often focused on only one. The awareness I speak of is what creates and dwells in the ego. As we expand our awareness, we can exist in many realms. Apparently, these beings are fully aware of this and have learned to penetrate every realm. Compared to them, we are like roaches or ants, but they live with us, dwell with us, walk among us, and look like us. This is a scary thought. I don't know that I am ready to accept it. It just sounds insane and unbelievable. Chapter number 43, Journal Entry 43. It is difficult to stay engaged in this reality. In fact, sometimes I would like to just let it go altogether. There's so much to know and so much to explore in this world, but I find I am limited by the narrow bandwidth of thinking capabilities of many people on the earth. And in this reality, if there are people more intelligent, I don't have much access to them on the physical level. People who go deeper, if not awake, are even caged in the adoption of racist or sexist points of view or human pride and arrogance. And so I do my journeys and commune with the gods and goddesses. That is where I find hope and solace. That is where I get rid of the stress that comes from observing the games that the human beings are constantly playing in this farce called life that they think of as reality. Once one has awakened to the truth, it is not completely joyful. In fact, it becomes painful. Looking upon all of the foolishness of the world is troubling, and not joining in because of anger or just being worn down from the stupidity is even more difficult. At night I fly. During the day I don't know what I do. Mostly I clean with Ho'oponopono and create. I try to get the message out about the world and the underlying foundation or source that exists beyond nature and is all in all. This, however, is difficult also. It takes me away from my place called home and communing with my soul group. The one thing that I am discovering during my experimentation is my origin, not only in the universe as a spiritual being, but as a person on this earth and on various planets as part of one group that has been moving together for untold amounts of years on earth and everywhere else. In a dream, I was told the name of my group. I looked it up, Googled it, and found that the name had some validity. This was surprising. At the same time, not really, because it fit very well. And so we will be reading for the last entry for today. Please join us, subscribe, hit the bell, help us to get more resources to do more programming. And if you really like what you're hearing, please go to our website. The information is below. You can go to our Patreon or you can make a donation and get a copy of our latest ebook. So, journal entry number 44. I asked my guardian about all of the pain and suffering in the world, especially that caused by the coronavirus. She told me that the coronavirus was a manifestation of the creative nature of the collective human mind, especially in the U.S. Quote, the reason they say you are in Kali Yuga is not because Kali is going to destroy you. It is because the human being has been granted the power to manifest what is happening in their minds in real time now. Before, time was a buffer between action and consequences, which gave the group a chance to correct the action in order to waylay the consequences. In that extra given space, forgiveness could occur. Now that buffer is gone, and humans receive the fruits of their actions as soon as they do it. In the past, sages and teachers, those who entered into the earth to help, would sometimes carry the burdens of the group through prayer, meditation, and even serving as scapegoats, carrying the sins of humanity and living ascetic lives or being persecuted for telling the truth. That is the case now. There will be No more sacrifices. Human beings are adults now and responsible for their own actions. Human beings will either change their mindset and actions or they will pay the ultimate price by creating a hell realm through their own thoughts and imaginations on this earth. The anger, the greed, the separation based on the identity of the person instead of the content of their character, adopted by the majority as a way of life today, doesn't allow for forgiveness and renewal. Forgiveness and renewal was the only thing that held off the creation of a hell realm. It pulled one out of the timeline and healed all wounds. It created a large space where error would just dissipate into emptiness. Now that is over. There is no total forgiveness. There is no total forgiveness in the human family anymore. As long as humans are angry, divided, and don't care for each other, there will be pain and suffering. As long as the system creates those who don't care, there will be suffering even for those who don't agree with the present system, because most have been influenced by it so much that they agree with the parts of the system that are most important when it comes to maintaining it. The very heart of it is supported when that is the part that should be destroyed. They work on the outgrowth instead of the root, and the root causes the problem. The root is selfishness, the feeling of separation from everyone and everything else, which leads to the fear, which leads to the greed, which leads to the anger and arrogance and unearned pride. The only hope for the human is to realize that they are one with every other creature on this planet. For now, that is the first step. Is it any wonder that the coronavirus mimics the working of the human mind and imagination so much? Just look at it and then look at our governance, the political and economic policies, and the past actions of our country. All that the virus is the internal manifestation of what has been happening on a larger scale for hundreds of years. It is a physical manifestation in the body of what had been taking place in the mind and projected out into the universe for hundreds of thousands of years. Humans wanted freedom. Freedom, the ability to receive the fruit of their own actions, has now come to the human family again. This is not the first time something like this happened. Other times they failed to comprehend what is needed. Let's see if they respond in the correct time and space and in the correct way this time. Unquote. There you have it, folks. Stay tuned. We'll be posting journal entry number 45 soon. Click the like, hit the bell, and subscribe so that these teachings can be spread farther and wider, and share our link with your friends and family so we can really build up a stronger self-supporting channel. We can get in depth more and invite other speakers when this happens. It's all in your hands. Namaste, everyone.